Hey everyone, Brian Hill with the Complete Combatant, Active Self-Protection Extra, and this is Manus Dry Fire Monday. Something I noticed in my own shooting, something that I've been paying attention to on teaching now on the range. When you're a traveling instructor, you have a unique insight because you get to see roughly in the area of 1,000 shooters a year. All right, and then I get to measure them on the timer constantly. So I really am tuned into what human beings are capable of. But I saw this weird phenomena. It was in my shooting and it showed up in some other people's shooting. I think it tends to happen more to the accuracy first shooter than it does to the speed and efficiency shooter. So let's talk about it.
If you want to get better as a defensive shooter, one of the best tools you can use is a Mantis X10 firearms performance system. Helps you in live fire and in dry fire.
It's helped me make a big jump. It may help you make a big jump. And it's just something that people don't recognize. Now, as you see today, I'm wearing my teaching belt in case I have law enforcement or somebody from a side draw. No, this is not the way I would walk around unless the world's really gone bad. But I wanted to do a couple side draws and I'll go back to appendix so we can see if there's a difference in it. So this is a Ghostman Designs holster, so it has full retention on it. So I have a nub mod, so I have to get in there and release the retention before I go. So if I was carrying outside the waist in broad view of people, this would be what I'd want to carry in all the time. Now I have a tie down on the leg to keep it from moving, and I have a belt with one AR pouch and one magazine pouch, and then of course I've got med kit on the back. All right, so this is not a concealment rig. We're talking about the strong side draw. Let's get a couple of those. So the idea is that people are slower when they shoot 2 shots than when they shoot 1 shot on the draw. There seems to be some limiter. We can really work single shots by themselves and become excessively fast, but then to get them to fire another shot tends to slow them down for some reason. And I don't know why that is, all right? Unless we want to be more careful. We start worrying about it. Now, no matter what you name something, enough people are going to use that name that you will grow tired of it. And you will say, we can't say that anymore because it means something completely different than what I meant, all right? And this is a good indicator. This one is definitely it, all right? So this used to be called the double tap. All right, and that was 2 shots, and it became where you didn't see anything. You just fire 2 shots as quickly as you can. So now we call it controlled pairs, controlled doubles, pairs, hammered pairs. We're just trying to work around. The one thing we want you to do is see something when you shoot twice and not just throw the gun out there and shoot twice, because we're going to have some recoil. The red dot's better at this than iron sights because you can track that movement and it becomes a streak instead of a sight lifting and coming up and down. That streak's a lot easier to follow. So what I got is got my handy timer out here. What I'm going to do is a couple draws from here. Now I'm a little bit slower from this position. I tend to average about a 1. Occasionally I get into the high 0.9s, maybe a 1.1. So that's my average, maybe 0.9 to 1.1 out of this holster, which is still a decent draw. And I think with a bit more practice, I can get even lower on it. All right. But I'm going to fire 1 shot. We'll see what my speed is. And then I'm going to fire 2 shots and see if my draw slows down and if I can overcome that. Okay, this will be 1 shot, just 1 shot. Let me make sure I stay in the frame here. All right, just 1 shot. Yeah, imagine that's a 125 or so. 120, 120. I better show you guys or you won't believe it. All right, so there's a 120, all right? It is in the 10 ring, so I saw something. I know I can go a little faster than that. Let's see if we can get ahead of the beep. Don't think it was remarkably quicker, but a 109, all right? So as expected, a 109, just outside the 9 ring on it. Let's do one more. Okay, good 10 ring hit, probably the fastest draw. All right, so we got a 106 on that. Okay, so not bad. So knowing my shooting, if I drew and fired 2 shots, since I usually have about a 0.2 split, occasionally I get a little lower, but my average is 0.2, 0.19. So if I have a 1.1 and I get a 0.2, I should see a 1.3. All right, on drawing and shooting 2 pairs. And then nothing is outside of the gray ring, except for 1 shot, it's just slightly to the 8. So that's my level of accuracy, somewhere in that B8. All right, because speed and efficiency and accuracy training shouldn't be put together. I just found that the faster I go, the accuracy doesn't fade that much. So it's you guys are accuracy first. There's some benefit to this, all right, if you'll let go and shoot at the speed of vision. All right, so let's see 2 shots this time, 2 shots. All right, so there it is. That's exactly what I keep seeing over and over. So a 118 draw and then a 22 split. So I went from a 106 or a 1-1 draw and I went to almost a 1-2, and then I bumped my splits up just a little bit. And it's funny, just waiting for the beep, I could feel the pressure. All right, so what I need to do is be really present and see if I can get ahead and not worrying about that there's more than one. All right, good hits, everything was fine with that, but let's see if we can get a little ahead of the beep now. All right, so that's much better, much better. All right, it registered 3 shots, but the first one was a 103 and the second one was a 21. All right, so that's not too bad. You know, that's a pretty good day of training. So 103 draw or 79. I don't know what happened there. All right, so it says it's a 103 for 2 shots. So maybe I did get quite a bit ahead of it. I don't know. All right, better hits too up in the upper 9 ring. So just by changing my mind and realizing that I'm going to have to do 2 of these, it got me ahead of it. Now appendix, I should see a little bit better improvement on this. So my average is 0.9 to 1 on the appendix draw with the hands down, and sometimes I range into the 8s. All right, splits are probably going to be the same, but let's see what it looks like. Let's see if we see the same phenomena happening. Okay, just draw and fire 2. Little bobble there. So we're going to take a mulligan on a bobble. I think my belt's just a tad tight from the duty holster. So let's loosen that up just a bit. All right, here we go. So very slow and deliberate that time. I could feel it. So it's a 101 draw and a 25 split. Now, 0.05 feels slow and deliberate because that's how my vision was working. All right, and being plugged into it allows you to do that. So when we go really fast all the time, what we do is when we settle back into these 25s or 30s, they feel much slower than they should. All right, so let's do one more. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, a lot better. Picking up some noise here, so I don't know. Let's see. So I think a 98 was the draw and a 21 was the split, so for a 120. If I really push on this, sometimes I can get the whole deal done in 1 second, all right? But that's really pushing on the outside edge. I'm gonna do one more, see if we can get to it. All right, stand by. Gonna take a mulligan on that, jumped a little bit. Okay, best speed and the accuracy's off just a bit. And that's what I would expect. So I got one at the high in the 8 ring. So I have a 91 on the draw and then a 20 split, which gives me a 111. All right, pretty good. Pretty good for working in front of the camera, switching holsters and going back and forth. All right, guys, so this is the target I was shooting there. Take the ears off so I don't yell at you. That was that last shot, a little high. Now listen, for speed and efficiency training, this is very good accuracy. Remember, we have to relax accuracy during speed and efficiency because we're trying to get faster at doing something. If we measure accuracy at the same time, then we're putting conflicting mission statements in our mind and we don't know what's more important. So if you reward yourself with just stellar accuracy, you will have to slow down a little bit. Performance mode would be that I'm going to call the shots and let my present level of skill manifest itself. All right, so pretty good shooting, but it's this weird thing that when people shoot more than one shot, there tends to be a 10 or 15% difference in the time. So check your shooting out, see if that's happening with you. It'll help you a lot on failure to neutralize, to the body, 1 to the head, the 3 and 2, split bill, which is 4 and 2, bill drill itself, 5x5s. All those require multiple shots. And if we can simply establish that our draw is done at this speed of vision, and then either we correct or we don't, and we move along, we have a pretty good chance of really correcting with this. So I hope that helped you guys a little bit. You saw me do a strong side draw too. I got to practice everything as an instructor. I don't get to be a specialist because I have to teach a broad range of people. and sometimes they show up with strong side, sometimes they show up with appendix. I don't care as much as long as I can help them perform better and perform at their highest level. Okay. All right, guys, make sure you subscribe, Active Self-Protection Extra. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Make sure you use your Mantis. Your Mantis is really good. You can't do 2 shots from the draw on it, so it can't help you with that, but you can break down how fast it took you to react to the buzzer, what your vertical, what your horizontal movement was, how long you spent on the target aiming, and when you press the trigger. So it's really good for that. And you guys get out and practice a little bit. Call it whatever you want to, controlled pairs, doubles, hammered pairs. But what the idea is, you're seeing 2 sight move. You're staying together with both shots. You're seeing the whole time. So I could call the shots, because I'm target focused anyway, I'm seeing the dot lift, and then allow yourself an acceptable level of accuracy. Of course, I'm at 3 yards because it's easier for the camera and whatnot. All right, guys. Fantastic. Let me know how you do. Let me know if you get to that 1 or lower than 1 for 2 shots. I think that's outstanding. Gets away from this bad habit. And as always, guys, measure, refine, and perform.